Bring us in, babe.
Welcome to
Coco
Caliente.
And we are back to normal programming.
Wow, it feels weird podcasting with you by myself.
Yeah, it's we
back to normal life.
How long has it been now? Like 2 or more months?
Oh, for sure. That was really easy to podcast like that.
It just made it, just because
no preparation.
The topics were already set. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have to come up with like actual content. But sorry for those that I guess maybe got a little frustrated that we were just talking Amazing Race if you don't watch it. But at the same time, we just kind of expected you to watch, I guess, if you were listening, because we were just hoping you like us enough.
I don't know. It was just a big part of our lives. So we wanted to, there's a lot of questions we get daily on it. So we actually our audience grew a lot with doing that, to be honest.
And it wasn't like we were following a show that we're not on, which wouldn't make sense for us to follow.
Victor doesn't like to follow a show that we're not like there for, so we probably won't ever cover The Amazing Race again unless we're on the race.
Yeah. And like it's not to say that there's not like TV shows that I like, right, that I don't like at all out there. Like there's shows that I like, I just don't feel it necessary for me to recap anything or talk about it when I'm not actively being a part of it. I don't know. That's just how I feel about that, but that's neither here
so we
nor
like
there.
On the side, we're just kind of like, I'm like, Vic, I want to recap this. He's like, nah.
I told you could do it on your own.
Right.
I just didn't want to be a part of it.
With the Big Brother stuff, now that, so I've been having a lot of dreams ever since this new twist came about, how the people stay in the house. So we cannot have the first 5 evicted like we planned. Like I planned.
Yeah, I was don't make it a we thing.
Like I planned on the podcast for like 20 minutes. So they're going to be in the house. By the time they're out of the house, the jury's starting. It's just going to be, it's too difficult. So we're just going to get back to normal programming. And that doesn't mean we won't have Big Brother guests or talk about the show. But right now, we're just going to try to get back in the groove of things.
Yeah, and I, like Nicole said, I'm not interested at all in having it be anything Big Brother. But interesting people are always interesting people, no matter where they came from. So
which could be Big Brother.
Which could be that, or anybody, because we have a number of guests on recorded already.
True.
From all different walks of life, which is very interesting. I think you guys are going to like the guests that we have coming up. But
this week it's just us.
This week is just us. You get a full dose of Coco. And what I wanted to start with actually is a trip that we just took.
Yeah.
Not too long ago. It was literally
It feels like a long time ago.
Feels like a long time.
Like
it was
2 weeks.
Yeah, literally. We went to Barbados. We went to an all-inclusive luxury vacation at the Sandals Resorts in Barbados, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, we're not getting paid to talk about it. It's just something that we did, and we were like, we should probably talk about it because we got a lot of questions, and also it happened so fast with like the Amazing Race finale and then going to Dallas right after. I kind of forgot it happened. I mean, I haven't even unpacked yet.
Yeah, but basically I had set this trip up for Nicole's birthday, and we didn't realize the extent of what that trip entailed, right? So when we get there, the place is obviously beautiful. They picked us up in like this like luxury SUV, and we're thinking we're just going to take a normal taxi, and we're like, okay, this is good. We get there, there's people like singing as we get out of the car.
Yeah, and then they give me like this cold towel, and when people give me towels, I don't know what to do with them. And
Nicole,
I'm like,
Nicole isn't bougie enough to know. No. I didn't even know either.
Vic was like unloading some stuff or like talking to someone, and I'm just like standing awkwardly with this wet washcloth. I'm like, do I wipe my face? Do I wipe my hands? And they knew I did not know what was going on.
I just cleaned my hands and put it back, and then we see the next guy getting out of his car. He's wiping his face.
I was like, I feel like that's what I was supposed to do.
That makes more sense because in Barbados it is humid. It's hot and humid. So it would make sense to wipe your face and cool yourself down, like with that towel in your neck or something.
Yeah, I should have done that.
And then anyway, so as they're escorting us to our room, they have these beautiful suites, right? Like your rooms, they're beautiful. They all like from the first floor up, you have like a tub outside, and the first floor has these swim up pools. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. How awesome, Nicole, would it be for us to have a swim up pool?
Right.
And the lady was like, well, that is your room.
Not the lady, our butler.
Oh, yeah. That's another thing. We had a freaking butler, guys.
And I didn't feel comfortable. I was like, Vic, we are not calling her. We are not having her do do anything for us. Like, I feel weird about this. And then if we didn't, she would just show up with like snacks, or she would call us like
and find us.
Yeah, to make sure that we're good. So basically, like, no matter what, we had a butler, and she was phenomenal.
Yeah, basically they give you this little cell phone, and there's just one number in it, and it says My Butler. And they check on you throughout the day. They make your reservations for dinner. Like, they ask you, what do you want to do tomorrow morning? It's like, we just want to go to the pool or the beach, Yeah. And they're like, okay, I'll set up some chairs for you. And
like
so
with a cabana. And
but we didn't know. So as we're going to the beach, Nicole grabs towels. Like, okay, are we ready? And there's already towels set up there. Calls us, what do you want in your cooler? Our cooler?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Anyway, it was just phenomenal. I mean, it was one of the best vacations we had. It was short, but the food was great. The atmosphere was great. We met some great friends.
Yeah, we did. We made some really good friends. Shout out.
Yeah, Steve and Francesca.
Yeah.
From, where are they, in Boston?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun, and we really had a good time. And we didn't take any pictures with them just because we were having so much fun.
It's weird. Yeah, like we literally hung with them all the time, and we didn't take any pictures. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're so weird. Yeah. But it was so like fun. I didn't even think of it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Guys, don't get offended because we really did. We should have. Thinking back now, it's like
I texted her and told her.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was like a bowling alley. Anyways, it was awesome. I would highly recommend it if you guys are looking for like a vacation.
Yeah.
And we stayed at the Royals. Was it?
Sandals? Royal Barbados. Sandals Royal Barbados.
But the friends that we made, Steve and Francesca, said that they went to a lot of Sandals resorts, and they liked some other ones a lot too. So, I mean, that was our first experience with it. So I don't want you to go there and be like, oh, this isn't as cool as we thought. But dude, we're not used to having a butler or swim up pool or anything like that. So
it was
awesome.
It was beyond amazing. So I've been thinking about, I wear glasses, and I've been thinking about using contacts. And we just came across this company, and it's called Simple Contacts.
Yeah, what does that do?
So basically, Simple Contacts is an online site. They have an app, right, that'll renew your prescription if you have a current prescription, maybe that it's about to be expired. But they have basically a simple online test. It's like 5 minutes long, and they take you through, and it's reviewed by a doctor. And
within like 24 hours, right?
Yeah. And basically, if you can still see 20/20 with that prescription, they'll renew your prescription for only $20, which is super cheap. A lot of times in the doctor's office can be like $100, $200.
And you're just like waiting in the waiting room, and
and to get the same prescription you already had, right? It's like it feels like a waste of time. And like you said, you have to schedule an appointment, go there. And this, you can do it from your phone or anywhere at any time, and you can get that prescription and get contact lens delivered to your door, free shipping.
That's awesome.
Prices are super low. They have every brand out there. I don't know. It's just, it feels like the 21st century of ordering your contact lenses.
For sure.
I mean, I've never heard anything like that.
But it's a good thing, because when I wore contacts all the time, it was a nuisance. Like, oh crap, I know I'm low, and then I'd be on the same pair of contacts for way longer than I should be because I'm avoiding going to the doctor. But if I can just do this in like 5 minutes and renew and get them shipped to my door, I would definitely do that. Yeah,
and they only test your current prescription to make sure it still helps you see 20/20. So they don't write completely new prescriptions or eye exams. So make sure like you do get those periodically, but you don't have to get them every year if your vision hasn't changed. And they help you make that determination. Like if you still see 20/20, we got you set.
I think you just need like an internet connection. You need to have 10 feet of space so that way you can take the eye exam.
Yep.
And then that's it.
Yeah, so it's really awesome. And actually now, for our listeners, you get $20 off your contacts at simplecontacts.com/Coco, or you can enter code COCO20 at checkout.
Nice.
Yeah, so again, you can get $20 off, which would essentially be your eye exam, that prescription. You'd get that renewed for free if you go to simplecontacts.com/Coco20, or you enter code COCO20 at checkout. But we did have a little scare over there, right? We did have a little scare, and it goes back to a question that somebody asked Nicole. If you want to read that question.
That's about So basically, what has been going on with me for the last 4 months has been, I've been pretty private about it. At first, I thought it was just anxiety.
Yeah, and remember, we had a lot of those conversations thinking it was that.
Yeah, we did. And then I'm not saying I don't have anxiety, because I have anxiety on top of other things. But what kept happening is I went into the emergency room in the middle of the night 4 times, where I woke up, my heart was racing, and I just couldn't get it to stop. My doctor had prescribed me Xanax because she was so certain. I had never been on any anxiety medications my whole entire life. Yeah. Yes, I've been nervous, but it was always because of a test or because of a trip or because something I can pinpoint. It was never waking me up in the night and taking over my life and making me feel like I'm about to die. So, I was unfamiliar with this, so I went to the emergency room, and every time I went to the emergency room, your potassium is supposed to be between 3.5 and 5.
Yeah.
Mine was like 2.9. And people who have low potassium, and my magnesium's low too, and like 1.8 to 2.2, mine will be like 1.6. And this starts to cause, if you have low magnesium and low potassium, it starts to cause heart arrhythmias. So my heart just wasn't
for those
a regular beat.
Yeah, so those of you that want to know about potassium, what it does is that controls that when you get low in potassium, your muscles start twitching.
Right, and I was having constant muscle twitches in my arms, legs, face.
And low potassium can be very, very dangerous, as well as high potassium. It can kill you.
So they're both side effects of too high or too low is cardiac arrest. So you're telling this to someone, and I'm a nurse, so I know, and I'm also having anxiety on top of this because I'm scared as crap that I'm about to have a heart attack. So I've woken Vic up in the night, I've woken my mom up in the night, and they've taken me, and it's been the longest 15-minute ride of my life, thinking I can't breathe, my heart rate's 180. Mm-hmm. I get there, and I just kind of tell the doctor, this is what's happening. It's been happening over and over again because they just want to throw like Ativan, Xanax, and stuff on me.
They just want to Band-Aid it.
Right. So I'm like, can you please just at least check my blood? And sure as crap, it's always low. So I gained like 6 pounds because I've been drinking Pedialyte. I stopped drinking water, and I've been drinking Pedialyte nonstop for 4 months. And now I'm on a magnesium supplement, and it's been better. I haven't been to the hospital in a long time.
You're just checking your levels, making sure they're okay. But if we backtrack a little bit, the problem was when we went to the hospital, they would say, well, when you get anxious, your levels can get low. Yeah. And then what they would do is give her a more dose of maybe any anxiety type medicine through the IV.
So I would take, whenever these attacks happen, I would take a Xanax, which I never have taken before, and it still wouldn't help.
And then they would give her more at the hospital. So what that does is it'll mask the symptoms of low potassium, because it will relax you and it will slow your heart rate because they are giving you, muscle relaxers essentially, but it's only masking the internal actual problem, which we finally kind of pinpointed.
Yeah, so I've been to endocrinologist because they thought maybe hormones. I've been to my cardiologist, has basically saved my life. Mm-hmm. He's the best person in the world. And then I've been to a nephrologist for my kidneys, and finally my cardiologist literally has done so much for me. Anyways, it's just kind of fixed now, but the kidney specialist, so it was either to intake, I wasn't intaking enough potassium and magnesium, which isn't true because I eat more than Victor eats, and then I've been gaining weight on top of it, trying to show that. So it's not that, it's not absorption because pills and IV fluids help, and then so I'm getting rid of it for some freaking reason. My body thinks I have enough, and so I'm getting rid of it. So I still do blood draws a couple times a week. I have to check on it, but I'm starting to feel like myself, but I was having anxiety on top of it. So people with anxiety, it's just it's scary.
Yeah, and you have to, and the thing is, at least Nicole got it down to a science where she can pinpoint the difference between her anxiety and low potassium. The only problem was when her potassium would get low, it would trigger her anxiety because she would freak out that she'd get a heart attack.
If you start feeling like your heart's not regular, like it's going to cause anyone to freak out.
Yeah. So
especially me.
Essentially what we're trying to give you guys advice on here is don't let somebody, if you are an anxious person, that's fine. That's okay. You know that.
Yeah.
But don't let somebody tell you that it's just anxiety when it's not. Like
now I'm going to give all the people with anxiety be like, oh my God, it's something else. I'm sorry, but my mom has to talk me down a lot now because if I'm feeling like, I'll get it in my head like, oh my God, my potassium's off, and I have to take deep breaths. If your deep breaths take away, you can slow your heart rate down with that, then it's not, and then it's just anxiety.
Yeah.
So
without medication or anything, don't take the medication unless you really, really need it.
I mean, that's
if your heart's going crazy, and then go to the hospital. But like Nicole said,
just like a doctor now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because like Nicole said, if you can sit down, you give yourself like 5 solid minutes of good breathing, and you can bring yourself down, then you're like, okay, that was just anxiety, right? And I got through it.
And anxiety is just as bad. Mine are full blown panic attacks at this point, but I am starting to control them. I have been waking up in the night every single night for months,
and
gasping for air, hitting Victor in the face, saying, help me. And now it has stopped. And being out of the country in Barbados, where I think Victor was going with this whole story, was I had a great first day, but I was petrified. I packed Pedialyte like in my suitcase, 4 bottles. I was petrified of leaving because I was like, I'm not going to have the health care if I need it. And I had been fine for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But it still got in my head. So the second night, I couldn't sleep. I took a Xanax. I still couldn't sleep. I'm like, oh my God, the nearest hospital is 45 minutes away. It's not like home. I freaked myself out into an anxiety attack, but I got my blood drawn there. I didn't go to the hospital. I went to a clinic.
And surprisingly, it was they don't have all the resources, but that doctor was very knowledgeable.
It was like
super smart.
He said he could hear my murmur. He could hear that it wasn't a normal rhythm, but that could be from my anxiety. Like he used less tools and knew more.
And then they got the blood back in like hours. It was a couple hours and they had all the results.
It was fine, and then I was fine.
Yeah.
So it's, even when I went to a wedding a couple days ago, I started to feel like, oh my gosh, I started feeling like losing control.
Because you were like claustrophobic, squished between 2 people in the back of a car and,
Yeah, and so it's always in my mind is when is it going to happen again? And then I have to battle anxiety on top of it. So actually someone asked me a question about let me find it exactly.
It was something about having social anxiety in events and how you deal with it.
Okay, so hi, Nicole. I wanted to ask you a question for the podcast. Like, you have suffered from social anxiety for years. I constantly struggle with being able to have fun at social events that involve a lot of people and will frequently stress about the time leading up to the event. Do you have any advice for being able to let go and have a good time in these types of environments? Thank you. Just seeing you living your life in spite of your anxiety is a huge inspiration and support for me. Thank you. But, okay, so as far as social events, I weirdly do better in social events because my mind is distracted.
Yeah.
I find someone to talk to and I just really get into
enjoying your time there.
Enjoying my time and realizing, like, I feel safer. But I get my most anxiety sitting home alone when my mind wanders.
Yeah.
But everyone has to figure out what they do for theirs because my mom's with social anxiety and now... like she would get it when she was working and stuff, and now she conquered that crap. So my advice would be just kind of keep a journal and figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
And I think what works for Nicole as well, and it could work for this listener, is having that safe person. Yeah. Right? Having that person, it could be for you, Nicole, it could be me or your mom.
Right.
And if we're there, that you're in a safe environment.
Well, I bet you know right away I don't feel good, and then you'll be like, you'll assess me kind of and say, okay, well, I think you're fine. And my mom will be like, you're fine. You just got your blood work, or you're fine because I saw it come on you when we said we were going somewhere, or we said, because
there was a trigger word.
I guess I can totally relate to leading up to the events. Because when I'm going to a wedding, I'm freaking out the whole day. I don't know what it is, but I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, it's just that anxiety. I don't feel like getting ready. I'm not excited to but when I get there, I'm okay. And I don't drink. I haven't drank alcohol in the last 4 months, and I haven't drinking any coffee because I really wanted to figure out.
She's super healthy.
I was
watching everything she's eating too.
Yeah, and still gaining weight, but it sucks. But no, Pedialyte will make you do that. It's like Gatorade, like it's just heavy.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I just completely, even my nephrologist told me to keep a journal because you got to see why it's happening. And if you can tell yourself it's happening, you know it's because it's a wedding, that should just make you feel better. You know it's just a wedding. You know it's not anything that's going to happen to you. Mine, if I'm not feeling like, if I think something's going to happen to me, I don't know why. Because even being a nurse makes it worse, I think, because I know more. But yeah, just try to remind yourself that you have a reason for it and that can make you feel better. Or taking deep breaths. That is like huge for me. I bought 4 meditation books from Barnes & Noble, spent $78 in 5 minutes. I had like 5 minutes to run in there. And so I'm going to try to conquer this whole meditation thing too. But I just went on a rant. But I just want to let you guys know that you need to advocate for yourself and for your health because no one else is going to do it.
Yeah.
And it took me months and months for people to take me seriously. And
I honestly think your primary doctor still doesn't take you seriously.
Well, and it's just, you just find that one person too that can help you, advocate for you and believe in you, and you're fine. Like,
Dr. Alui.
Yeah, he was the best. But yeah, so if you just, you have to push for it because it takes a long time. I mean, they'll make you wait 6 months to see a specialist. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, you can't.
It's pretty crazy. But yeah, so that's just something that we wanted to put out there. And now because of that, like I said.
And kind of why I've been quiet on media and just not really myself. It's been hard for me to it was hard for me to get up out of bed some days because I woke up with my heart at 180 and I had to work 6 hours to get it down. You know what I mean? So that's where I was.
Yeah, so now we're kind of back into the normal groove of things, and it's been great. You know, it's been awesome, and just to see her back to her normal self is so refreshing.
Yeah, I thought he was going to give up on me for there.
No.
I was like, oh my God, I'm driving myself nuts. I can't even imagine.
Hey, we got through it. That's why, you know, you get through the hard times with people, you know, the people that you love, especially my freaking fiance. So I'm not going anywhere.
Who's ready to get fit?
Me. No, so if you guys are ready and really focused and determined and want to zone in on getting fit, the best way to do it is
OpenFit.
OpenFit. It's a streaming online service that lets you work out anywhere and everywhere. You can do it on a smart TV, on your phone, on a computer, on a laptop. Mm-hmm. They have the best trainers in the world. They got classes with like Andrea Rogers, who's the founder of the worldwide sensation, which you like.
Extreme Bar.
It's Extend Bar. Yeah, yes, Extend Bar.
I say extreme.
Hey, but it gets you in shape. And they also have Hunter McIntyre. He's another one. Mm-hmm. He was named Sports Illustrated one of the top fittest athletes. So they know what they're doing to get you results quick. Super simple. And they even have where you can lose 15 pounds in the first 30 days. Mm-hmm. They have all types of workouts that fit your schedule. You work out when you want to. Really good stuff. It's changed the way I work out. And with our code, Coco, you can join us on our fitness journey personalized just for you. Again, just use our code Coco and start your OpenFit journey. And you can do the 30-day challenge. And that's the one they give you an extended 30-day free trial membership to OpenFit where you can lose up to 15 pounds in 30 days. You can text Coco to 303030. Again, text Coco to 303030.
All right, let's do a happier topic. Now I'm getting anxious. Like, what else do we got?
No, so, and on a very sharp transition to another way, I'll start with the Spanish word of the day.
Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. So the Spanish word of the day today is ropa.
It's licorice.
Ropa. R-O-P-A.
I know this word. I learned this in school.
You did? Well, let's see if you can remember. Ropa.
Oh gosh, I don't remember. I would just be guessing at this point.
Take a educated guess.
Ropa. I don't know why it made me think of licorice, but it's not. But
because you're thinking like rope.
Licorice makes your potassium drop, so that's probably why it's in my mind. Just so you guys know. Black licorice, especially.
We always have it on us.
Phone.
No. I mean, no, it's not phone. I was trying to think of like always have it on us. I guess we kind of always have it on us, but you don't always have it on you.
Oh, so we always have this on us. You
always have this on you.
So it's a part of your body?
Not necessarily.
A ring?
Clothes. Ropa means clothes.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? That was an easy one.
And so that transitions me into something that I was talking to our friends in Barbados, Steve and Francesca, about trends, clothing trends.
Yeah, we were cracking up.
And it was just so funny about different trends that we had growing up. And one of those for me was, I remember I went through a phase of like baggy clothes, like really baggy clothes.
What was weird is you and Steve you guys grew up in Louisiana and he grew up in Boston, and you guys had the exact same experience. So tell us about these baggy clothes.
So I'd always buy like jeans that were maybe like 4 or 5 times my size. So it'd be really baggy. I'd wear my Air Force One Nikes.
How did you get them you wore a belt?
I wore a belt. Yeah, okay. I had to wear a belt, but you'd always sag because that was cool.
So you'd put like them on your butt cheeks and then put the belt on?
But no, so I would, but we always wore shorts under our jeans.
This is so weird to me. Like, why would you wear shorts under your pants?
Same with, I always wore a t-shirt under my shirt. Even, and just so the undershirt would hang out a little bit and you can see the different colors. So if I had like a black overshirt, you could see the white t-shirt hanging out.
The only way I would wear shorts I would wear like spandex under a dress, or if I knew I was going to get pantsed every day, I'd wear like these big baggy shorts you're talking about. But like that was just a style?
Well, yeah, it was a style. But also in school, even though we had uniforms, I would wear my shorts under my pants because of gym class. So I can just strip that down.
You wore uniforms.
I did wear uniforms.
And they let you buy 5-size big pants? You were allowed to wear them?
No. So you're talking about different times now. So in school, I wouldn't buy 5 times large pants, right? Wouldn't. No, I'd try to get them a little bit more fitted. Maybe my Dickie shorts were a little bit more baggy. Because at that time, high shorts weren't a thing. They would pass your knees, would look cool.
Oh my gosh, past your knees.
Well, that's time where you wore bell bottoms. I'm almost sure.
I still wear bell bottoms.
Oh, so that never went out of style for you.
No.
Well,
one thing that I did wear that was really crazy, that I have several of, and now what do I do with them, is belt buckles. Like, do you remember in the middle of the mall, they would have like the belt buckles
that had the digital print scanning across?
My brother had that, but mine were just like weird belt buckles.
Bedazzled.
Big, yeah, like an N for Nicole, bedazzled.
That's when you'd wear the guys would wear the shirt, spike their hair up and tuck the front of their shirt into the belt buckle.
Yeah, just like but they would just spike up like the front.
Yeah, part. Either do that or do the faux hawk. Yeah. You do the faux hawk. You don't even do like the real mohawk. You do the faux hawk. And
I feel like the faux hawk is still in.
I haven't seen somebody with a faux hawk in a while.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
And you know what's crazy? In Puerto Rico, it's completely upside down on its head. So in Puerto Rico, men, and I guess some men still do it here in the U.S., so men will get their eyebrows cleaned up, right? They'll get their eyebrows cleaned up. But then they'll also shave their legs.
Which you did when you lived in Puerto Rico.
I did it a couple times, but then my legs felt too weird and like they get really like sweaty, so I didn't do that. And then they'll also shave their armpits. And so at that time, I don't know if they still do it, rat tails when I was in college.
That's so
Rat tails was in style, or just having like a partial mullet. You know what I mean? Like shaving.
Mullets are, just so you guys know, I've heard 2 days ago, mullets are back in.
That's crazy to me.
Yes, and also guys shaving the sides of their head, leaving the top really long and getting it permed is also permed.
I haven't seen. That's crazy.
No, literally, I just got updated 2 days ago.
The only person that I've seen that had a mullet for a while, I don't know if you remember the rapper, his name's like Riff Raff. He's like the white guy that had all these weird, like NBA and Nike and Adidas tattoos on him.
I always thought someone just lost a bad bet with the mullets. Because I guess in college, guys did it on the hockey team, like when they were going to, the finals?
Championships or whatever?
Championships. They would all, get weird rat tail, mullet haircuts, and then after they couldn't cut it until they
won or lost.
Until they lost.
Okay.
So it was like I don't know.
It's like a team thing. Well, that makes more sense, though.
So that's why when I see, even when I see a mullet in church sometimes, I'm just like, dude, he lost a bet. Or he's like it's like a thing. It's a sports thing.
And when I start thinking about those old trends, I start thinking about life before the Facebook or even before MySpace.
Which
you remember
was
MySpace?
Which was us in high school.
Isn't that so? I remember MySpace, and people would do up their accounts so much that when you got on the page, it would be slow to like scroll down.
MySpace was the coolest MySpace. I wonder if I can still get in the music, the way things move, like
I hated
the videos.
that. I hated going into somebody's MySpace and music playing automatically.
You would have loved my MySpace. You would have had the biggest crush on me and my MySpace.
Did you have like your top 10 or top 5 friends or whatever it was, and people would get jealous?
I think I did like small, like 8 or 4, and they were my obvious people.
So you wouldn't get anybody mad?
Right. Otherwise, it was like top. Some people do a lot, and then it's too much. And
it's like,
if you're not in like the top 50, there's something wrong,
No, I remember, and people would have a lot of stuff, and then you got into like before they had the templates that you could use. People would actually learn how to do the like little coding to like change the colors and fonts and all that. Yes. And then after people started doing that, they started making it to where, okay, look, just change this setting and it'll change it all for you.
Yeah, I really liked MySpace because I felt like you were allowed to express yourself and personalize. And I don't know why Facebook blew up so much more. It's just so simple.
Because there's no chaos. It's so much easier. I hated it. I hated going on. And like I said, internet wasn't fast in those days.
For a creative person,
that was like really dial-up. You remember dial-up?
Yeah.
It sounded like a fax machine.
It was I remember the computer. It was like the big white thing.
Yeah.
Windows 98 or
Windows
whatever.
98, and then people would you'd get on the internet, and then the internet would stop for a minute because somebody picked up the phone.
Yeah.
It's like, get off the phone.
Yeah, I was never really super into it though. Even when Facebook came out, I don't think I got a Facebook until I went to college, like as in using it. Like it was never. I loved real life so much. And like, I think I told someone this the other day. I was like I got ready so much in high school. Every day woke up at like 6:30 and just showered and had a different look every day, whatever I was feeling. Mm-hmm. And now I just like never get ready because on Instagram you can just like take a picture of yourself and be like, oh yeah, they think I'm ready. And then I can take all my makeup off and just like let loose.
Go about your day.
And go about my day. Whereas in high school and growing up, it's what they saw. So, like, that's it. There was no pictures for everyone to see.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Like, I made that impression by people meeting me, so I made sure, like, I always was put together. And now it's like I'm so lazy with it.
And I remember, so in those times, so let's say a little bit pre-MySpace when it was MSN Messenger.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
MSN Messenger. Those were the days I would be outside all the time. Yeah. Like I barely ever, like I had my thing and I'd message people here and there, but 9 times out of 10, I was outside doing something. And my mom would basically, cause I lived in Italy on a military base, which was safer because we had an exit gate, and you could only come in one way and there was a guard there. So my friends would come knock on my door. My mom basically would kick me out for the day, no cell phone or anything. We'd go ride bikes and I would just have to come check back in every few hours, run in, get a juice box and a snack and then go back out,
right.
And it feels like today that doesn't happen,
So it's just like how
change in society.
If kids see kids do that, it's normal. They want that. Or on long car rides, like we never had TVs in the back of the cars, and now it's like
I would argue with my sister the whole time, then we'd get in trouble. Exactly. A hand comes in the back seat, just smack around, don't make me pull over, Or it'd be like, or if I was hungry, I'd be like, Mom, Ashley's hungry. Yeah. And she'd be like, no, I'm not.
Poor me and my brother got so car sick, we would just take turns like puking in the back.
Oh my gosh.
But anyways, it's just like, it's how things have changed. So even if you, like I always say, I'm not going to let my kids like do electronic stuff, but there's no
it's inevitable
way around it.
Yeah. I mean, unless you force them outside. The thing is, a lot of times now, they don't have friends in their neighborhood. Yeah. It makes it
like
difficult.
Because we always had like our bike gang.
I always had I was always hurt. My mom literally, I had scabs up and down my knees, elbows, but it's because I was an adventurer.
Yeah.
I mean, in the first place, so we lived in, we lived in Sicily and we lived in La Maddalena. For those of you who don't know, Italy is a boot. And in the middle of the Mediterranean, off to the left, off to the west, are is Sicily down, which is like the island that's being kicked by the boot. And to the north of Sicily is Sardinia. Mm-hmm. And off the coast of Sardinia is a tiny island called La Maddalena. Beautiful. It's like where tourists, the rich and famous, go. Mm-hmm. And we lived there. And outside our house was just rocks. Mm-hmm. Everywhere. And me and my buddies, we'd go make forts out and about all day, hurting ourselves. They
called you Hurt Boy.
Hurt Boy, because I would always be on the rocks, and you're climbing by yourself, just you and like 4 or 5 friends. Yeah. And everybody's just trying to get down and you're just falling all over the place. Luckily I didn't get seriously injured, but I was always with somebody. I never just went by myself. But it was just so much fun. Yeah. I mean, we just had I think about those days and it's like, man, kids don't experience that much anymore. You know what I mean?
No, and I don't know why. I mean, I loved my sandbox. I remember I used to like get the sand really wet and like pretend and find rocks and like put it on the sandbox and like put, what's it called? Like with the rocks in. So like I'm building a house with it. You know what I mean? Like using it as cement. And then once it got like dried up and it would like fall off, I'd be so sad. And then I'd start the next day and I'd like try to cover this sand boat in, tiles and stuff. But that's like what I would do day after day. And then we had a pool too. So we spent a lot of time in the pool.
We even had like in the base, in that military base that we lived on, they started building this football field. And because they were building this football field, there was turned up dirt everywhere. And for us, that was like, this is awesome. There's like ditches and trenches and mud and clay. And so we would make forts, have like teams of like 5 to 10 on each side, and we'd just be humming clay balls at each other, and it would hurt, but it was fun. And yeah, somebody starts crying, and then we'd stop, and then they'd be better, and then we go back and play. But
and for your point too, we did have a lot of friends our age, on our street because we lived right in town. So there was like 8 of us. I think there's only 2 girls though. I was one of 2 girls, and the other girl was a pretty big tomboy. So I would like get beat up pretty much. I would come home crying. Like they would be picking on me or something, but then it's like we laugh about it now. And then, So.
Something cool that we had that I wish more towns would do. And it's just, and I get it though, like some areas aren't as safe to where you just want to let your children go out and about. You know what I mean? But we had this thing called the rec center. I don't know if you can compare it to like a YMCA, but the rec center where we live, like you can go, everybody would go. We'd take our bikes down there. You give, and we all were issued like a military ID, right, that we always had. Yeah. You'd give them your ID and they would have pool tables, video games. They'd put on events and stuff. And you basically sign in and you can hang out in there with all your friends, and do whatever you want. And the other place had like a basketball court and all that. So it was like a gym for kids that had like video games and pool and like snacks that you could buy.
I think kids do play outside more than we know. We just don't know. Like, we don't have kids.
I think they do more play dates than actually let their kids just go out and do their own thing.
I won't let my kids go out and do their own thing. Like, I will let them, I want them to be outside, but I'm not going to let them go explore. Like,
and that's what
it's just things have changed. Things have changed when people have things to be afraid of. There's so many things that happen. Like, even when we watch documentaries, it's like these 2 parents invited this molester into their house and let them steal I forget what it was called, but they steal their daughter twice.
Stole their daughter, yeah.
What'd I say?
Stealed
their daughter. Yeah. No way I said that.
I think so.
Oh, God.
We can check the tape.
Okay, well, they took their daughter and that was before like pedophile was a thing. So that's what I'm saying is like back in the 70s and 80s, I think that was the 80s, it wasn't even a freaking word. And now you have to be very... like, you're scared. I'm going to be scared because I know of all the bad things that have happened.
Well, the thing is, for me, it's like, are these things happening more, or is it just more visible on documentaries and on news because the information is more readily available? I don't think it's happening more than it used to happen. I think it's just you see it because
now it's out in the open.
Exactly.
It used to be secretive, which isn't
But even
better.
now though, now you have all the registered sex offenders and you have that list and it's open, available on a database. True. And so if anything, you can look at that in your neighborhood and be like, oh, okay, crap, this is, the areas to avoid or whatever it may be.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so I don't know. The argument can be made, but it's just like sad that because of those things, it's hindered the growing up of future generations. Because I just remember.
You think kids are really spoiled nowadays, as in everyone wins. That bugs you.
It's not that it bugs me, is that it just doesn't get you ready. And we have an amazing conversation with Anthony O'Neill down the line. That's that true. You will. But just, not getting too into it, but basically that giving everybody that first place medal or medal of participation and not teaching them how to lose and how to cope with losing and failing to make you better and want to work harder the next time. Mm-hmm. I feel like that kind of distorts your learning a little bit and your emotions and how to deal with when you go to college by yourself or leave out to the world by yourself. And you fail because you have to fail to learn. You have to fail to get better. You know what I mean? You're not winning all the time. So,
but you're right. We do get in deep with the Anthony.
Yeah.
So we'll say that.
We'll table that for later. But I don't know. That's just something that that just kind of makes me what is it called? It makes me twitch a little bit to talk about. But anyway, it was nice reminiscing about those old times. I remember watching all the Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron.
Me too.
Watch all those, before going to school, and just eating breakfast, and they're on TV, and it's like
one thing that I never watch TV before school or even during dinner, but now that you and I are together, like you always need the TV on when you're eating, and now we got like TV tray tables, and that was never a thing with me.
So to your point, I do it now. That's not something I did when we were growing up. Like I said, we were always out and about.
No, but you did before school and stuff.
Yeah, because you're eating breakfast, getting ready, and it's like, they got something on or whatever. Or in the evenings, once we're done playing with whatever and the night's about to be over, we eat dinner as a family. And then it's like, catch some TV before bed. But I wouldn't say that our life revolved around the TV.
No, but you watch TV a lot more than I did.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know how you grew up.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying because I can tell, like, you know a lot more references about the old TV shows I know nothing about. So I pretty much watch Disney Channel once in a while and, like, maybe Halloween Town or something.
Yeah.
But it was never anything that we just never had the TV on. And even you go over to my parents' house, never have the TV on.
Oh, they do at night. They watch TV every night.
They watch like the news a little bit.
Yeah.
Or like Judge Judy. They never ever. They don't even need cable.
Yeah.
They literally.
I just enjoy now, like, if to decompress at the end of my day, I love watching The Office. That's my show of choice.
Yeah,
and
you always
I enjoy
like
watching
even
that.
when they clean the house, you like to have the TV on. You like noise.
I like having music on most of the time when I'm cleaning.
I'm getting to the point where I can't. That starts to make me anxious. Like I just like to hear my thoughts. I like to hear. I don't know. I'm starting to change to where I need it to be quieter.
Yeah, it's just growing up, my mom, anytime she was cleaning, Latin family, we always have music on. That's the thing. We have speakers all over the house. You can hear music in any room, and that's just how we grew up. Some type of Spanish music, salsa, merengue. Mom would kick us out of the house while she swept and mopped the floor, and we'd just go play outside. So, I don't know. It was good times, good times. Now, I think, Nicole, you had a really interesting, weird, or normal for us today.
Yeah, okay, so do you, in the library, when you're going to pick out a book, or, like, do you smell it? Like, smelling books, because I feel like I've smelled quite a few books in my life, but it's not like I'm like, I can't wait to smell this book, but I weirdly put it up to my nose sometimes.
So you just open it and go...
Well, sometimes when you open it, you can just smell it, and then you're just like... Is this really coming from the book?
Is it what type of smell?
It's like an older smell, or a
like
really,
the pages,
or a really new smelling book,
like when you open it and it crackles
at Barnes and Nobles, like
it cracks open, like the spine of the book just goes because it's brand new, and then you can smell.
Yeah, do you smell books?
I don't
like old books, new books, any books.
I'd say sometimes. I mean, it's not enough to where it's like a thing.
Me neither.
You know what I mean?
No, but it's weird that we do it at all.
You know what's weird that I do? Like if you open a new pack of tennis balls, and you smell them, there's just this distinct smell.
I know what they smell like.
And it smells like weird but good.
You put it up to your nose, though?
Yeah, you peel back because it's typically like an aluminum lid, like it was like a tuna can, and then and it just has this weird, distinct smell, fresh tennis balls. I don't know.
They do have a distinct smell, but I've never put them up to my nose. I can just, there's like very potent, so you don't need to. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, and then I guess, like I like the smell of fresh grass, but that's not something that you cut grass and you just smell it. It's not like you go over there and like, oh.
You do pick up piles sometimes and throw it in your face.
What?
Just kidding.
Are you? That would be weird. That would be really weird. I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, next time you see someone sniff a book, you're going to think.
That's really strange.
Time any listener sniffs a book, they're going to be like, I'm not going to do it now.
I think that's really awkward. Back on the trends thing, did you have any trends today besides the mullet that are coming back?
And just that perm thing. This is like a thing that I see on Instagram a lot, but I don't take part in it, is like tennis shoes with dresses is like a thing.
Tennis shoes with dresses.
Like the big, bulky, white tennis shoes with socks.
And then a dress.
Like the influencers wear them. Yeah, or they'll be wearing this really beautiful dress, and then they're just wearing these tennis shoes.
The only time I saw that was
like that
recently.
Are like neon colored.
Yeah, the only time I saw that recently was one of the hosts one of the news people at the NBA draft.
Yeah,
but it kind of made sense.
They talked about that.
Well, it made sense because
that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay,
that's different.
Yeah, because she was wearing like basketball shoes,
because it's a basketball game, maybe.
No, it's the NBA draft. They're doing the picks for the players. But I could see how it may be practical if you're going to be out and about and like.
No, it's style.
Yeah, see, that's weird. I don't get that.
It's not just practical because there's other things in heat that's more comfortable than socks that go up high. These aren't like the cute like see-through socks they're like the thick white socks.
Like if they're playing basketball.
Yeah, it's very weird to me.
That is weird.
But it's a huge style, and I'm like, dude, do I need to get a pair of these tennis shoes? Because now that I'm seeing them everywhere,
it's growing on you.
Kind of, but I like to stick to my own style, but at the same time, they do look comfortable.
Maybe that'll fade just as fast as the male rompers.
Oh, yeah, that was a thing.
That was a thing for like a week, it felt like.
Yeah, honestly, it's weird with style because once someone posts something, then everyone will start doing it, and then it just becomes normal.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I used to do some weird stuff back in the day, and then you would see like maybe 3 days later. I wore leg warmers to school all the time. Like I wore leg warmers maybe 3 days a week, and I'd buy the funkiest leg warmers. But like, I mean, I don't do it now. But it was funny because then 3 days later, you'd see someone go buy those leg warmers from Fashion Bug, and then they'd be wearing them. And then
you should start wearing leg warmers again.
Like you trend set like just within your school, and now like you trend set on Instagram and what's like,
which is millions and millions of people.
Yeah, and I realize that it's hard to stay original, and that's why sometimes like it's weird because I'm like, oh, I really love this, and I want to share it, but at the same time, like when people used to copy me, it used to bug me, but really flattery is like copying is the highest form of flattery. Imitation is.
Imitation.
So, and then you also help people grow when you let them express themselves. Maybe you're helping someone. So, it's good to open up actually and show your stuff so then people can grow from there and there instead of like feeling like, oh, I need to hide it.
Yeah, being different is better than just going with the crowd and being normal.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, but then when you say you like come up with something, you think, and then you see someone else do it, and then it would kind of feel like, oh man, but then at the same time it's cool because you're inspiring them.
Yeah.
So that was something that I always kind of struggled with, and then I just need to get better with it because now everything is out in the open.
Yeah, everything's super visible.
Everything.
I mean, and you don't want to hide who you are, and so somebody copies you, like you said, that's flattering. It's like, oh, they think that's cool too. I'm not by myself on this one.
Yeah, right.
I had a question for you, Nicole. It's because I was looking, I saw something I came upon. And it was, if you didn't have to sleep, right, what would you do with your extra time?
Read.
That's what you would do?
Mm-hmm.
You would just read?
Yeah.
Like, so if you had 8 extra hours,
I would read.
You would read for 8 hours.
Yeah, what would you do?
I thought about this a little bit, and I'm infatuated with music, and I always think I could be, well, I don't want to be a rapper, but like, I could be a cool musician.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I always wanted, and I still will eventually, I want to learn how to like play the guitar or like play the piano. I used to play the keyboard. So I think I would dedicate myself in those 8 hours to learn to play music and read music and do that.
Yeah, I would love to play piano.
And I want our kids to play some type of instrument because I feel like that just adds more connections to your brain and helps you learn better with other things.
For sure.
So, yeah, I feel like I would, I will, though. I'm going to learn to play the guitar.
If I had 8 extra hours, too, I would build a greenhouse, maybe.
Build a greenhouse?
Yeah. Okay, but you would what? You want to play...
I'm going to learn, even without those extra 8 hours, to play the guitar. And I'm going to make a song for you. And it's going to make you cry.
Okay.
I'm going to do that. But I have a lot of learning to do, so give me some time, maybe like 5-10 years. But just give me some time, and I'll put something together, and it'll be great, okay?
That's funny. I do have questions from the listeners. Do you have another topic you want to go over?
No, go ahead, shoot. Questions from our listeners. Here we go. Nicole has it all written down.
All right, Rachel wants to know, it seemed Victor had a friend who was going to be on Big Brother this season. What happened? He's such a jerk.
That's so funny. So, guys, basically what happened is and Nicole can tell you, I hate the Big Brother rumor wheel. I just hate it. People go on Twitter and like, BB21 spoilers, this is what's going to happen. And they're going to have people, past contestants, and they're going to have this kind of twist and this and that. And it's like, you don't know. Nobody knows. And then that makes people start talking about it. And is this happening? Is this person on? Is this really what it's going to be? And it's like, guys, everybody just chill out for a second and just wait until they give you some solid information and then go with it, So I was so fed up and I was like, you know what? Let me put my little rumor wheel in there.
I was like, don't.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it because this is just hilarious to me. And so Marino, who's my best friend, and that's when I put it on my Insta story. Congratulations, Marino. I'm rooting for you. Vote for him. America's favorite player. He got like 30 some odd extra followers. People are messaging him.
Yeah, so Victor just did it to be a troll.
Yeah, I'm never a troll. No. And that was my one time because I was just fed up with the BB21.
Because people actually believed it. And if his friend was actually on there, he wouldn't be able to put that on there.
Yeah, just,
But every year, one of my friends is always on the season 2. It was Mariah, and this year was Nicole because I was watching her baby.
As the rumors, yeah. It's crazy. That's funny. That's a good question.
Mm-hmm. So Kelly wants to know, did you like Big Brother or The Amazing Race better, Vic? You answered this on someone else's show, but not ours.
Oh, okay. By far, for me, I think The Amazing Race is more up my alley.
It is. In
terms of, like, the type of competition. Go, think on your feet. A lot of physical and mental challenges that you have to complete. And, yeah, I mean, that's the type of player that I was trying to be on Big Brother, but Big Brother is a completely different game. You got to be more social than like a competitive, monster, essentially. So that Amazing Race for me, I know Nicole, Big Brother by far. That's her game.
That's my game.
And she won it, so she knows a thing or two.
Even if I didn't win, I still think that I just love it. Because I can sit on the couch. Okay, no. Amy says, how different do you think your life would be without Big Brother? Like, if you weren't on Big Brother, where would you be now?
Go ahead, you take that one first.
I would be a nurse in a small town. Probably hadn't left Michigan.
Yeah.
Probably married to a farmer. And probably have 3 kids by now.
Yeah. That sounds about right. It really opened your eyes and like you were on a one track kind of way and that really opened up so many doors and it really opened and it didn't just open your eyes, it opened your parents' eyes and your brother's eyes to the world and even people in this town.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
It made us all grow.
It opened it up to everyone and everybody follows you in this town on your Facebook and on your social media and see all the things that you've been able to do and see.
It was like it's crazy. Maybe it even helped people in this area become who they really are.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like you don't have to be a farmer and you don't have to be a farmer's wife and you don't have to, follow this exact route of what I was.
And you don't have to just stay here. You can go out and explore the world. And so, yeah, definitely. I think you gave a trickle of down effect to everybody.
Yeah.
For me, I honestly don't know. I probably would have stayed working at LA Fitness and kind of grew there, or
you had a good job there.
Yeah, that's actually, one of the jobs that I truly enjoyed because it was right up my alley, exercising every day, managing a gym, and I might have just stayed there and just grew in the company, or I would have went on and done something else, but I definitely wouldn't be living in Michigan.
Our lives would be very different.
We would have never crossed paths.
It would just have been just so different.
Yeah.
Any chance you would live in another city? That was Erica's question. That was Amy's question. Sorry. And then this is Mattio's question. Any chance you would live in another city besides Ubley in Michigan? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'd be open to it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Erica wants to know what made us decide to live together.
Timing. It was just the right time. We had been living in Nicole's parents' basement.
But that's still living together.
Well, we're living with your parents.
But so you made that initial move to Michigan because long distance is so difficult.
Yeah. Okay, so we were at that turning point in our relationship. Like, if we're going to do this for real, we have to be in the same place. We can't be in two different time zones, like over 1,000 miles apart, whatever it was. So,
and right when he got off like the challenge, he pretty much was just moved in the next day. He's like, oh shoot!
I drove up. We met up in Nashville actually.
When I hosted the CMA, right?
Yeah, we went to the CMAs, and instead of you taking your flight back, you hopped in the car with me, and we drove up there. And history ever since.
McKaylee wants to know your favorite place to travel on TAR.
We've answered this several times. Sorry, I don't want to sound mean, but we've answered this so many times just because it's an easy choice. What is it, baby? Switzerland, by far. We'd go there again for a vacation when we have a chance.
Kennedy wants to know, would we ever start a YouTube channel?
Nah.
It's a lot of work.
It's not up my alley, and it's a lot of work. And actually with this, like, I'm all sweaty kinda a little bit, and I'm just like in shorts and a t-shirt. Don't really have to get ready for it.
Podcast is more of our thing, I guess.
And we conversate easy with each other, and this is a lot more up our alley, and we enjoy this more than having to record and edit video and come up with content three times a week.
You are really good at making videos, though, like when we do record.
Yeah,
so
when we do record.
Once in a while, you probably could put out a really good YouTube video.
I just don't want to hold myself to the standard of having a YouTube channel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's just me.
Lucy wants to know, how is wedding planning and when will it be? We will let you know. We do not
TBA,
know.
to be announced. Last question.
Okay. This is a good one. Jessie wants to know, which I love that name.
Your brother.
But this is a girl.
Okay.
If we had the chance to have anyone on the show, who would it be and why?
So we would love to have Dax Shepard and
Kristen Bell.
They're our favorite, by far our favorite couple, because we just relate so much to them.
Yeah.
And Dax is so intellectual and really smart. And Kristen Bell is a lot like Nicole. She wears her emotions on her sleeve. She's very caring, loves animals, loves the environment and all that. And I don't know. I think just be interesting to sit down and talk to them. But
they came to Michigan, and we were in Barbados. And when the tickets came out, I was like so sad. I was like, I'd rather go to the Armchair Expert live show because what if he has Kristen as his guest than go to Barbados? And Victor's like, what? I was like, no, seriously. And then I tried to see if I could get to the Chicago one because he did a Midwest tour recently. But we were in Dallas, so
bad timing.
Yeah, dang it! I had been waiting for them to come forever. But Kristen was not the surprise guest, so maybe next time.
So that's it for the questions, and now we're basically going to wrap up like we always do with our reviews, just because we, like I always say, we enjoy it. We love that you guys give us the positive feedback that you do. You guys are the driving force behind this podcast, and without you guys, we have nothing. So in light of that, Nicole, you take it away.
Okay, how do I pronounce this name?
How do you pronounce this name? Anna Isale?
Here's better with pronouncing
Anna Isale?
Okay.
I don't know. That's the closest I can do with that.
Okay, and it's called Obsessed to the Max, 5 stars. I've been following Nicole since her first season on Big Brother. Love both of you together. I have listened to all of your podcasts from the very beginning. I literally cannot wait for my afternoon commute on Fridays so I can listen. You two make me laugh and brighten my day. Keep up the great work.
Aw, thank you so much. And did you read that one, by the way? Because I like this one.
Oh, I didn't read it.
You didn't read that one already. Perfect. So this one's by TMLBB21. Nick and Vic are my new BFFs. 5-star. Just binged this whole podcast on my cross-country trek from Montana to North Carolina. Could not stop listening. I feel like Nick and Vic are my new best friends because they're so relatable. So happy y'all are doing a podcast and can't wait for your next episode.
Woo, thank you.
Thank you so much, and we hope you had a wonderful trek to North Carolina.
Yeah.
So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Back to our normal programming.
I feel like I talked way too much this episode. I apologize.
No, you did not. This is what we're here for. We're here to talk, and we have some amazing guests coming up next week. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you guys are going to enjoy it. So you guys can listen here wherever you're listening now, or you can listen to this podcast on iTunes Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play. You can always go to www.cococalientepodcast.com, listen there, and get our merchandise. Really cute stuff. Nothing crazy. Always don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.